One's telecast of the 2009 Repco Rally Australia, proudly brought to you by Repco. What an auto store ought to be. Valvoline, the guaranteed performer. And Bridgestone Dueler, the tyre tough enough to bring you back.
We hear that the next contestant, Federico Viagra, is approaching our cameras toward the end of the stage. We join him now. Comes to Australia with two fourth-place finishes this year in Argentina and Greece, a career best. Made his WRC debut in Argentina in 2000.
It's pretty good for him to have two fourth places in both Argentina and Greece. Both of those rallies, very demanding, very difficult rallies, so it's obviously got a reasonable amount of speed.
Has achieved points in 4 out of 6 rallies, only retiring in Sardinia because his co-driver was ill, actually. He was 11th in Finland, 40 years of age. He's the oldest driver competing in the WRC, and his co-driver is Jorge Perez Companc, the Argentinian. He was 8th at the end of day 2, and we can see the net difference in the time there. Standing by also for Henning Solberg, brother of superstar Petter Solberg, and he probably doesn't have, it's fair to say, maybe the same quality, the same talent as Petter. I think Petter himself even says that in some respects, but he loves rallying and rallies for fun, doesn't he?
It'd be an interesting dinner party, wouldn't it? But he's got the same sense of humour that his brother's got. I know that he got asked yesterday when his windscreen come out there, you know, you've had that happen to you a few times now, how do you find it? And his simple comment was fairly dry, it's better with it in.
That's a valid point you make, because they had to run for the rest of the day without that, using goggles and things like that. So it's been a challenge. And coming toward our cameras now, Henning Solberg in one of the Stobart M Sport Fords. Made his debut, Sweden, 1998. So as in varying capacities, been in the championship for some time. Best WRC finish is a 3rd, and he's had 5 of them. Turkey 06, Norway 07, Japan 07, Argentina and Poland in 2009. He's 5th in the Drivers' Championship, having scored points in 6 out of the 9 rounds so far.
Henning will be keen to do it really well on this stage because he had some brake issues earlier on with one of the master cylinders. And originally his plan was to drive it through the stages and finish, but obviously they've done some work to this car and got it up and running again as far as brakes go.
Comes from Norway, and as we detailed before, his brother back in action at the next round of the championship in a 2008 model Citroën C4, upgraded with a lot of the componentry from the current 09 cars that you see Sebastian Loeb driving. So Henning will be in a Ford, and Petter will be in a Citroën. Let's look at the time here. Looks like he's made good ground. Shaves 18.9 seconds off Conrad's time. That's the new benchmark for the final stage. Great performance. And it's a shame that it's happened really at the end, given I guess, the rally that he's had.
Well, he was in such a good battle with Matthew Wilson, so that both of those 4 drivers battling it out and not being too far apart, but those brake issues and a couple of mishaps have really put him out.
You can see the eyes there focus on the scoreboard there. As soon as you get to the end, all drivers focusing on that.
Waiting to have a chat with him. On the points table, he's actually 2 points ahead of Petter.
Henning at the end of it, it's going to be 8th place. It's been a real tough weekend. A broken thumb, brake problems today.
Yeah, I was very unlucky today because it was some plastic in the reservoir for the brakes, so that was the problem. So I find it, but it took too long time.
So they're back to normal now?
Yeah, now it's normal. So yeah, we are here and happy for that.
You're happy with the performance this weekend, yeah?
No, I'm not happy, but I'm happy with the place this weekend because of all the trouble. So I will be stronger next time.
How sore's the thumb?
It's still here.
Actually, we forgot to discuss that. That must have been quite a handicap from a driving standpoint.
Yeah, I've done it once myself where I've sprained my thumb on a corner, etc. And it is hard then to be committed to you just don't feel right. You know, you've probably done the same yourself a few times, Daryl, on the bikes. But yeah, it's a bit. When you're really concentrating and pushing hard in the car, you basically want to just have all the natural feelings going on. So that would have disturbed him. I think he's kept the smile on, but I think the throw of the helmet into the back probably summed up his weekend. So
can it happen easily?
Look, not really. He probably just had his thumb in the wrong spot. You know, if you've had the car slide and it's just been in the wrong position, you know, your thumb gets caught in trying to hook the wheel in, and it, you know, if it bumps something, obviously it'll snap the wheel straight and it can wrench. Like most drivers have probably had a thumb or a finger or a wrist, injury at some stage in their career, but it doesn't happen very often.
We'll take a break now and come back with more stage action for you from the final one, stage 35 from the Northern Rivers region here in New South Wales. Guy plays cricket like Darryl Beattie. A sparkling coastline of endless beaches, great place for a family holiday here. We're waiting for Jari Matti Latvala to come onto the stage and into our our interview. I wanted to chat with you, Dean, about him because he's a frustrating sort of character in some respects, blindingly fast, but just inconsistent at times.
But he's so young, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even despite his age, he's done 100 WRC rallies. He's really been groomed to be a world champion, and like most people at the beginning of their career, they make a few mistakes, unfortunately, in the public eye, in a professional team, and in some really bad situations for the team to sort of put him under the spotlight, particularly in the last couple of rounds. But very exciting, and he will be a world champion in the future, I've no doubt.
I think it was Poland, wasn't it, on that final super special stage where he crashed quite embarrassingly and even said, look, I understand. If the team said to me, deal off, we're done, we're finished here, he said, I would thoroughly understand. The next person to come onto the stage, though, is Matthew Wilson. And it's an interesting season this guy's having. Daz, you went for a ride with him at Shakedown. Great character.
Yeah, really nice guy, and exactly what Dean said, another young player at 22 years of age, and probably lucky in some ways that his father runs the team, and it helps, but
Creates pressure that as well, though, doesn't it? Like, the guy's been under scrutiny from the early part. I know he cops a bit of flack from some of the British press and probably fans because of the opportunities he's getting, but they keep saying he's on a 5-year plan and he's sticking to that, and I think you'd only really see if you put him back in a domestic car somewhere how quick he actually is. I think he does quite a good job.
You know what it's like to step out of the shadow of a successful dad.
That's probably why I'm mentioning it, because you don't get to start behind the scenes and someone go, oh, this young guy's going quite fast, and he is, he's a very good driver, but when you're Malcolm Wilson's son, you're thrown in from your very first rally and watched like that.
And Dean, the other thing that we've spoken about on the telecast is the pressure of being an English driver. There's been so many good English drivers. Now he steps into those shoes.
And that's exactly right. I mean, when you've got past world champions and they're a big motorsport country and they really want someone to come and take that mantle, and that just adds a little bit more extra pressure on him as well.
Finished 5th 3 times so far in 2009. 20 points he's amassed, the most he's ever had in the championship, beating the 15 he scored in 2008. Best result, 4th in Japan in 2007. Comes to Australia with 7 points finishes out of 9 rallies. Only competed in Australia once before, finished 27th in 2006 and down on Henning Solberg's time.
He's on for his best run this year too. He's been very consistent, so points-wise he's looking very good.
Made his WRC debut at Rally GB in 04. He probably over the course of this event, it's fair to say, has struggled just to get comfortable with the grip levels and has had a few moments but managed to keep the car on the road. Let's have a look at the replay here.
Firstly, there is a bit indecisive. You've had a couple of goes at that corner, and that sort of shows you're not really confident to have one grab with the car, on the entries, and that then affects your exits, and that's probably why he says, I think he's admitted himself, just sort of have struggled for comfort levels in the car. He had a moment on the stage I was watching actually today, so he's had a mixed rally.
How much of that is about the fact that it's a new event, and how much of it is just about, grip levels out there, things like that?
I think because it is new, I think most of them have struggled. We've seen nearly all the top guys, probably except for Loeb, have moments, in the event, so, he's not alone in that regard, so, it's a tough rally, and being new, like I said, there's no data for anybody. There's no sort of, we'll watch this corner. I know some drivers, Cody included, will actually include in his notes drivers' names of where accidents have happened before, because if you're catching out the world's best, maybe beware on these particular corners.
Yours aren't in any of those, are they?
No. He's probably added his own in there for me.
Well, Jari Matti Latvala has had 2 tyre issues, unfortunately, so far this weekend, but he put his hand up and said, hey, look, in some respects it's my fault. He clouted a bank and damaged one of the tyres. We know that he's a winner of 2 WRC events, has had an up and down season in many respects. but looking forward to seeing how he tackles this final few kilometres of the stage. You can see how low the co-driver sits and how they're...
Like Dean said, though, he's so exciting to watch.
He's committed and he's so honest. Yeah, so honest. He's just, you know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, you know, for a young guy, and he gets really emotional about his results and about his failures, etc. And, you know, just an exciting guy to have in the championship.
Number 2 driver at Ford, 4 podiums, but 4 crashes so far this season.
And for the future, you mentioned world champion. Who else do you see that's the future for WRC?
Look, someone who's really impressed me is Sebastian Ogier this weekend. I think the other strong thing for him is being French, you know, backed by their French sort of sporting arm over there. It's very much sort of carbon copy what you know, Sebastian Loeb's done. So, you know, I think if they get behind him, he can mould that team, or, you know, get the second drive one day. You know, he'll be a star of the future as well.
Sebastian started this stage. We'll update you on him after the break. Let's have a look here, and massive gain on Henrik Solberg's time. Latvala 12.2 seconds up. And you get the feeling, just judging by, I mean, he scored 7 stage victories so far this weekend. This could have been his 3rd WRC victory. Rally Sardinia only his 2nd ever win, and his only one for the 2009 season. Just a shame that the rest of the event didn't go to plan. 3rd time to Australia. Best result was 6th in 2006, so set to improve on that.
They must get more helmets than me in the year, because they definitely don't treat them with kick gloves.
Rally Australia provided so much, the chance to lead and everything, and maybe a chance to win, but it all went with 2 punctures basically.
Yeah, it was lost with the 2 punctures, and it was a fantastic start. We're leading the rally after Friday, but it just didn't work out this time, unfortunately. But we got some points. Okay, I'm not happy, but at least we finished.
You finished. You got points for you and for the team, so it's still in the hunt.
Yeah, it is. It's not completely lost. Okay, Citroën will be getting stronger, but it's not lost yet.
And Malcolm Wilson, the boss of the team, recently said that he is a world-class driver, Jari Matti, so backing him, and Ford confirming around Finland that they're committed to this championship through to 2012. So some good stability there for that crew moving forward.
That's important for the WRC and important for Jari as well. Most people say, oh, at least we finished. I think for him that is really important with the season he's had.
He's done a good job just to get to the finish, given the drama, but we've got some big names still to come as Repco Rally Australia continues in just a few moments. It's been a great weekend as far as the competitors in the WRC are concerned. Very fast roads here in northern New South Wales. Our live stage coverage continues, getting ready to see some pictures of Sebastian Ogier. What's your impressions of him? You said before you thought that the rookies had a pretty good season.
I think he's the pick of the rally for me. You know, like I said, he's really stepped up to the mark. You know, we saw him sort of win the special stage on sort of the Thursday night, and thought, oh, that was a good run through there on those last couple of stages. You know, the Mickey Mouse stages as we call them. But to come through and then hold second on the opening day, and he was 5th on the road, which is a good position, but he's not miles back, and he's mixed it with them, and at certain stages there was 5 people within sort of 16 seconds, so he's really impressed me this weekend.
Is this Citroën's driver of the future? Maybe long term the driver who could replace Sebastian Loeb. As Dean detailed, has had a great weekend, 7 stage wins so far. It's his first time in Australia, won the Junior World Rally Championship in 2008 at his first attempt, and that earned him a full WRC drive for this year. First season in a World Rally Championship car or WRC car. Mixed results, but combining stage winning times with some crashes on occasions. 3 retirements so far this year, but 2nd place in Greece was a career highlight. We jump aboard now.
Jeu de gauche 150 en ciel, 120 mètres, frein gauche 140 moins, gauche 140 moins.
Just absolutely on the limit in top gear.
Some of the footage we've had come through with him over the weekend has just been unbelievable. He's been seriously loose at times, but just the commitment's huge.
Yeah, commitment's the key word there, isn't it? You can see they're in top gear a lot of the time, very loose roads. As you can see, they're getting... And they just take, there you see the two marks there, you can see the two wheel tracks. That's what they're aiming for. As soon as he's pushing a little bit harder, they're getting in and loose. Very hard to get it back if you're over-committed, so it's a very fine line there.
Seems to be nice tidy lines from him so far. Ogier chasing the effort of Jari-Matti Latvala. Had a great start to the rally, taking the early lead and benefited from a pretty solid road position. Car runs a little bit wide there. That just shows you how hard he's trying. How will it be against Jari-Matti's time? Just down slightly, 3.3 seconds.
They're all getting a little bit wide there. Looks like there's a grid there, which is obviously affecting your setup. You can't, cut the corner too much. It's drifting everybody out wide. It's probably all the marks are. And like you said, makes for some spectacular vision.
Ended the opening day with an impressive second. But struggled a little bit with the grip on day 2, and a spin dropped him down to 5th. And some observers say that he relinquished a podium position in Poland this year, which ultimately could have helped Sebastian Loeb's title bid. Let's have a look here. Maximum use of the road.
They get in tight there, Dean, don't they? And they
Sebastian,
run.
at the end of Rally Australia, it's 4th, but what a fantastic rally for you. You've led, you've set competitive times, you must be really happy.
Yeah, sure, it was a very good weekend for us. We just did a mistake yesterday, but we were able to fight with all the best drivers of the World Championship. So this weekend was very good for us. The car worked very well, and I'm very happy for the team and for everybody.
Yeah, good performance. We're standing by now for Danny Sordo, and some say this guy. One critic I read suggested that he doesn't have the killer instinct to win outright like Loeb. Is that your view? Do you share that opinion?
I just think it's quiet. I mean, we obviously don't speak the native language that he speaks. He's sort of a quiet personality, etc. So look, I don't think so. I mean, I think Loeb's quite, he's quite quiet as well. We've got other drivers who wear their heart on their sleeve, and these two just get on with the job. And I think that he's the second driver. He knows his position. I think if Sebastian moved on at some stage, I think he would probably step up to the mark, as we've seen Mikko Hovinen do in the last couple of years. So
you've got to say though, look at this weekend alone, just on Sordo's results, there's no way you'd say he doesn't have it. He's been right in that battle right to the end pretty much until now.
And improved on gravel, that's the big thing. Once again was touted as a tarmac expert, and to be on these loose roads first time at the event and to be matching times and winning stages is pretty important. So no, I think he'll do well. Has
the game changed in the past decade, just in terms of the way they drive them? We've been so used to in the late 90s the flamboyant sideways style, but now the precision is there, isn't it?
I think it's always been there, and I've never driven a World Rally car to sort of make any comment in particular, but I think that neat and tidy is the way it sort of have gone, and you can see that with Loeb. He makes very few mistakes. He's not the most spectacular driver out there, and that seems to be fast a lot of the time.
Well, we're going to see if Danny Sordo is able to claw back anything here in that battle with Mikko Hovinen, because if he can snatch second outright, that could really help Loeb's title bid. The points paid in this championship, very similar to Formula One, so 10 points for a victory, 8 for a second, and 6 for third. And we know that there are only 3 points in the title race between Hovinen, who leads, and Loeb, who's second in the championship. This man could be the spoiler, as we've said. On board now.
What we've been waiting for. It's obviously down to this. These two will have to go maximum attack, Mikko and him, in regards to Citroen will be watching on the computer screens, really hoping this can help Sebastian's bid.
Plays a massive role here, doesn't he? If he can finish in front of Hovinen and get the points for Sebastian, it would be huge if Sebastian could then take the he's in the lead, but take the final result.
Still waiting for that first rally win, guys. He's been second on 13 occasions, competed in Australia once back in 2006. He finished 23rd that year, and his co-driver is Marc Marti, the Spaniard who's very experienced, was alongside Carlos Sainz, you may recall. 4 podiums, 6 points finishes out of 8 rallies. Let's have a look here. 8.1 seconds the improvement on Jari-Matti's time. That's impressive.
That's what he had to do. We knew he was going to push a bit more than someone like Jari, who had nothing to sort of gain or lose from this stage. It's a long one though, so 8.1 to Latvala. it's going to be very interesting to see what Repco can do.
It's difficult, like you said, Dean, and when you watch these replay shots, as soon as they get out of that groove or off the edge of that camber there, they just lose a lot of time.
Danny, there's a shake of the head there. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be third at the end.
Yeah, I fought really hard this stage for trying to keep Mikko behind, but it's really difficult. But I tried, but it was impossible. But I'm happy in general. But I lost second place, but it's okay. It's a nice fight.
He thinks it's done. He obviously thinks it's done. It was 2.1 seconds splitting he and Mikko Hirvonen coming in. So Mikko attacking the stage, comes to Australia full of confidence after that victory at home in Finland, one of the signature events in the World Rally Championship. Everybody talks about it. He grew up around rallying, watched it with his dad as when he was, just a youngster, and to win his home event in front of his friends and fans was a huge thing. On the back of a hat-trick too, 3 championship wins, or round wins I should say, in the championship. Still looking for that first title, but it's swayed, the balance has swayed courtesy of his performance in recent rounds, and he took the championship lead into this event. Loeb started, as you know, with 5 round victories, but it's now swung in Ford's favour, in Mikko's favour. He's been to Australia 3 times, and let's not forget, he won the last event, the last ever World Rally Championship round in this country in Perth in 2006.
Nyppytäys 150, vasen eri tiukka, vähän tilaa. Sitten vasen eri tiukka, vähän tilaa.
In there, you can see the eyes, he's really on it here, and big commitment there. That's about as quick as we've seen someone go through that one.
He's had a great partnership too with Jarmo Leitzinen, who sits beside him. The pair have worked as a co-driver partnership since 0203. How hard was that? Almost the moment from Mikko. Absolutely on the limit.
You can see his championship is really on the line here on this stage, isn't it? He needs to be in front of Slaughter to give himself a really good opportunity for the last 2 rounds.
There's been a few of those this weekend. He's on one of those stages, I don't remember which one it was, but he took out a letterbox, and on one of the repeats he went back and took it out the same spot, so commitment was just huge.
96 WRC starts, 10 victories. He's given it his all this weekend. Let's see how it ranks against Danny Sordo. He's up. He's up 2.5 seconds. That's enough to cement second place.
And important for him, leaves him 1 point in front of the championship, so that's a good psychological thing for him as well.
It's not over yet. We have to hope that that Loeb doesn't make a mistake. It is a long stage. We shouldn't forget that. Loeb's not known for making blues like that, but that's a terrific performance. And all week he's been cool and calm under pressure. He's handled the pressure and shown how well he's handled it with that there.
Mikko, there was a shake of the hand there with Jarmo. At the end of it, it's second overall. It's been a real tough weekend for you, though, and Seb's took 2 points out of you.
Yeah, it was really tough weekend, and there's been many rallies this year that we've been absolutely flat out from start to finish, and this was one of those, but I couldn't help it. Citroën, they played it really well yesterday, so I just didn't have a chance today.
Do you think that was the key moment, having to run first on the road today?
Well, for sure. I think it could have been other way around if I was behind, but there's so many ifs, so, we just need to forget this one now and move on.
And the next event on the championship day, so as we've detailed already, is an event that could suit Citroën. But gee, he's got the right mindset for someone who's never won the title. We know that Loeb perhaps has that advantage, having won titles and fought against the likes of Marcus Gronholm and seasoned championship-winning drivers like Peter Solberg.
And that's probably held him in really good stead this week. You can see in Mikko's sort of facial expression that he's really disappointed. With coming to this event, you would have thought, this is the one I've probably really got to win. It can set my year up for me. So I think he's going to be disappointed, but he's got the right attitude. Let's forget this one. We've got 2 more to go. We're still in the lead. It's not a loss, so that's a good thing.
We need a break. Stick around. Sebastian Loeb is on stage. A crowd is starting to gather behind us as well. The podium coming up before our coverage concludes. Nice to have you with us on the final leg, the final day of Repco Rally Australia. Greg Russ, Daryl Beattie and Dean Herridge with you. Sebastian Loeb shortly. This guy made his World Rally Championship debut at Corsica in 1999. Since then, he's gone on to win the last 5 consecutive World Championships. He is the complete driver, the complete sportsman, isn't he?
We always expect him to win. It was actually reasonably refreshing to watch some of his end-of-stage interviews, like I mentioned before, where he's just saying, I can't do any better. You know, he was really struggling, and Mikko and both Jari Marti had his measure, so it was sort of refreshing to see. I'm going flat out, I'm not making any excuses, that's as good as I can go. So we don't see that very often.
And in the past too, he's not had a great run when it comes to brand new events, but he's got a nice buffer coming into this final stage. Let's see whether he can just preserve it and go on to clinch yet another victory in what is a stellar career. 52 wins in this championship, a winning ratio of 42% in 123 starts.
It's quite amazing when you look at his year though, isn't he? He came out of the blocks and everyone thought, oh, here we go, it's another season for Loeb, 5 wins, and then he's now on probably his worst running streak, I think they said since 2004, so you got to, you know, going into this stage with an 18+ second lead, if he keeps it all together, he's going to change that.
Yeah, and another couple of kilometres shows, you know, once a champion, always a champion. You know, come through here and dispel some of those, you know, sort of theories, so to speak.
And it's a great response too, because it's probably fair to say that he just couldn't match Mikko Hirvonen in Finland in terms of the pace that Mikko set this year. He knew that there's a real battle on his hands for this title, and just look at the way he's executing it here. Daniel Elena alongside him. Long-time co-driver.
It wouldn't be a 10th stage for him either, Dean, would it? With a lead like that, he just, you know, he'd push on, but make sure they get to the end.
He's a very neat driver anyway, but you can sort of see from the vision we saw Mikko, who's got his championship, sort of riding on a couple of points, you know, more aggressive, using more of the road. You know, Sebastian relaxed behind the wheel, nice and straight. He's not going to put any wheels in any gutters too much. You can see there, even off that category we spoke about, sort of nice and relaxed and controlled at least.
And the Citroën World Rally team on top of the manufacturer's point score at the moment with 119 to the BP Ford team's 105. So they are the reigning manufacturer's champions, and this guy wants to ensure that he wins the driver's title, but is playing the chaser win. Oh, so wide there, but still not perhaps as wide as Mikko. Let's have a look at the time. So Hirvonen wins the stage. It's a loss of only 5.9 seconds. The victory, the round win, goes to Sebastian Loeb. He carried a margin, a comfortable margin coming into this final stage in the order of about 18 seconds, 18.4. The deficit that he lost on that stage is not enough to take the victory away from Sebastian Loeb, and it moves him to within a point of Hirvonen for the title with 2 rounds to go. What a fight we have on our hands. Great performance from this pair and incredible tactics from Citroën across the weekend. Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena victorious in the first ever Repco Rally Australia on the East Coast.
Certainly lives up the championship now, doesn't it? Like you said, 1 point, and we've spoken about it when they move on from Australia now to the next rally, which is a tarmac. Could be another win for Loeb. We've discussed that. You said anything can happen, but championship-wise, it's
really pleased with this event. You know, he's really come out and played it right. They've been caught out a few times by Ford with his politics.
Argentina was the last time you won this year.
Yeah, this one is a good one because it was a hard fight, and but it's a long time you didn't win. It's especially good to win another one. So it was really important for the championship to win again here. And we've done it, so I'm really happy.
Obviously 2 points taken off Mikko, so it's now down to 1. Going to Spain next.
Yeah, Spain next. 1 point behind Mikko, so championship is really interesting this year. We'll see what we can do, but it will be an incredible final, I think.
You've had this problem and people have been criticising you in the past about new rallies and not doing well at them. This is a new rally and you've won.
Yeah, that's a new rally I won. I know that some people said that I'm going off in the new rallies. I know if you look at the statistic, it happens more so often in new rallies, but I don't know why. So here it was important for me to have this victory. We've done it, so I'm really happy.
Well done.
What a measured performance, and just superb across the entire 3 days. Strategy, well, it was Very well done by Citroen. There is the final results after 3 big days of Repco Rally Australia. In the end, only 12.5 seconds to Hirvonen. This title fight, boys, is going to be a ripper with 2 rounds to go. The most anticipated, perhaps the closest we've seen in recent years.
Yeah, which is great, and for Mika to step up to the mark and sort of now be really challenging on every event. You know, really Loeb was only getting hassled previously by Gronholm. You know, when Hirvonen's now stepped into the lead role, he's, you know, got that opportunity with both hands, and to really match, you know, the 5 times world championship is a great effort.
Peugeot's done really well this weekend too for the constructors. They've led by 14 points coming into this round, so another strong weekend for them. Citroen. I've been studying Peugeot a bit, actually. Too many years in Europe.
Replay of just the way Loeb, but look how cool and calm he looks.
Wanting another manufacturer.
yeah, well, you're doing well for the championship, mate. We do appreciate it. So. He's a very relaxed style, isn't he? Even when he, you know, he just doesn't look like he's going fast a lot of the time. But to be, you know, you find it interesting to have to criticise the 5-time world champion on your small, you know, if you don't do too well on the new events. It's pretty nitpicky when it comes down to it, isn't it?
He's a former gymnast turned rally driver, been very successful with Citroen. Some have, you know, always when he first started, sort of labelled him as a bit of a tarmac specialist, but since he's gone on to become the world champion, he is the complete driver in so many ways. Here's the updated championship standings. Look at that. 1 point heading into the next event in Spain. Of course, just 2 to go. The championship will wrap up with Rally GB. 76, Hirvonen on top from Loeb. Sordo is 3rd. Jari Matti, well, it's been an up and down year for him. 4th in the standings at the moment, and looking forward to seeing Petter Solberg. He's a guy like Sordo that could upset the balance of the championship in the coming 2 events, given that he's in a competitive car.
It's interesting in the Citroen. You know, you wonder what support may come in the future. You know, you've now got Ford have got a lot of customer cars out there, and you know, Yari's role will be to try and sort of buffer his teammate. Petter will potentially have the speed in this new car to play a real part in the way the championship comes out.
Hey, great job with this commentary stuff, but we don't want you anymore now. We want to see you back in a rally car.
Much have you behind the wheel as well. That'd be great.
Good luck up in Asia with the next event.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
There he is, Dean Herridge, and we will take a break. Still lots more to come, including the podium here from Service Park. Victorious at Repco Rally Australia, Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Eleanor. We're now joined by the multiple Australian Rally champion Neil Bates, who in partnership with Toyota has contested this event, but sadly it didn't really all go to plan for you today, did it?
No, definitely not. Look, in Toyota terms you'd say it was a bugger of a weekend. But look, you know, the car went fantastic. You know, I was incredibly happy with the car. You know, we had a new engine package, new suspension package for this event. It worked fantastically well, but I made a mistake yesterday. You know, it had a huge slide in a moment, just touched a tree, and unfortunately there was a stick in there that went through the radiator, and you know, that was the start of our problems. And you know, we fixed that, rejoined this morning, but the radiator we put in was actually a test radiator, and then it had a fitting on it that broke off and lost the oil, and that's that.
We've got the podium celebration starting here. The Production World Rally Championship first, shortly to Kylie Kim. We'll get you to stay here with us, Neil, as we cover all the celebrations, all the action. We'll hear from the top 3 in Repco Rally Australia as well. It's been a remarkable event. Let's go to Kylie King now.
Okay, well, Martin's being congratulated. He's got his trophies, and might he well celebrate in front of this crowd that's gathered here. I'll just edge on in. I know, Martin, that you'd like to celebrate. Martin, our Aussies tried as they might. They just couldn't catch you in this category. You were pretty much in a league of your own all during this event, really.
Yeah, it was a very good weekend for us because we did no mistake and car was working very well, and also my team was very good. So we enjoyed it for maximum. Stages were beautiful, and the speed of us was quite good, and our feeling was very confident. So we enjoyed it.
A lot of people said the roads would be tough, but you've mastered them well.
For me, the road was the best for this car, because when it's rough and bumpy, my car don't like it, but when the roads are like this, it's very good.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Martin Prokop there, who has just become the Junior World Rally Champion as well, was 5th in the PWRC standings coming into this event. His best WRC result was 10th overall in New Zealand in 2008. That was before this event. He's the first of the drivers registered in the PWRC, Neil, but he's been battling with a Kiwi, Hayden Patton, all weekend, who's not a registered member of that championship, but Hayden, of course, winning the Pirelli Star Award, which was a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, look, Hayden's done exceptionally well this weekend. You know, he came over for the Asia Pacific round in Queensland earlier this year and, you know, struggled for pace. He came back this time and he was just absolutely on top of his game and, you know, just incredibly impressive, and he deserved the Pirelli Star Driver Challenge without a doubt.
Neil, it's got to be pretty good when you see someone from New Zealand or Australia be able to compete at top level against someone that's just won the Junior World Rally Championship from this area. It's encouraging for our local talent.
Yeah, look, I think that, you know, Australia has some incredibly fast rally drivers. You know, Cody's done an exceptional job this weekend. While I kept it on the road, we were going, you know, very quickly. You know, you look at Richard Mason, Hayden Patton, it was all, you know, all right there fighting for the lead in PWRC.
Good point that you make about Cody Crocker, third in terms of the PWRC standings. This is third overall for the event. Danny Sordo, and he's with Kylie King.
Danny Sordo, you had quite a battle today. You're still barking orders at your co-driver. Nice work. A great effort today. What a battle you had with Miko. You just couldn't quite get him in the end.
Yeah, it's really, really nice battle, but finally Miko won me. But it's okay. I'm really, really happy because the battle today and also in 3 days is all the time pushing very, very hard. And maybe this is nice for the driver for score, but also for the spectator and for the television, no?
You now play a role in that championship battle, whether you like it or not. How are you going to approach the next few rounds trying to help Sebastian?
Yeah, I will try to help Sebastian in the rally in Catalonia. Maybe will be more easy than here, no? But normally in the last rallies in tarmac, Miko drove really, really fast and will be difficult, but it's okay. I will try to help Sebastian.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
4 stage wins in 2009 at this event.
And really Mr. Consistency throughout the year, hasn't he been? He's just been very, very strong and
a very able number 2, hasn't he?
Played a big part, as I mentioned earlier, in manufacturers for Citroen.
Look, at the end of the day, he's the perfect number 2 driver. Yep. You know, he's exactly what Citroen want, does the job, makes a few mistakes, and very happy to finish behind Sebastian.
You know what it's like to drive a WRC car. You've done that with Toyota, and you look at the Celica days, your own Corolla, for example. They're an incredible piece of kit, aren't they?
Look, they are just the most amazing vehicles, and, you know, I spoke to a lot of people over the weekend who'd never seen one, and they were just stunned at their speed.
This is second for the event, the man that leads the championship, Mikko Hirvonen, and it is a close title fight heading into the next event. He gave it his all here. Kylie's standing by to talk to him now.
Mikko, what a tough day at the office for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough weekend. We had a quite incredible fight with Sebastian and with Sordo as well. So, like starting this morning, we were all inside 0.1 seconds. So, you know, it doesn't happen every weekend.
The championship battle, it certainly hots up. What a shame you have to leave our country. We'd love to see you guys back to battle it out again.
Yeah, well, time to move on into the next rally, and for sure it's going to be a very close fight now with Sebastian, and going to Spain first and then to Wales. So, but it's all there. It's going to be really, really fantastic fight. So we'll see how it goes.
A final word on this event. How did you find it overall?
It was okay. I mean, some of the roads were unbelievable fast, and okay, I was cleaning the road quite a bit, but it just made it very difficult. It's so slippy in places, but you know, in the end everything worked just fine. So. Definitely. Maybe one day we come back here again.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you back. There's no doubt about that. A guy that Malcolm Wilson says is a champion in the waiting. Will 2009 be his year? And Neil, I guess it's a new event in road terms for so many people, even for you, really.
Yeah, look, you know, we've never rallied in this area before, but, you know, I'd have to say I thought the roads were just fantastic. You know, we're very used to fast roads in Australia, and these roads were fast, but, you know, they had enormous character and, you know, were really enjoyable, very high grip, and, yeah, absolutely loved the roads. They were fantastic.
Great applause, great recognition from the crowd for this man, winningest driver in the sport, 5-time world champion Is he edging closer to a 6th consecutive? Sebastian Loeb wins Repco Rally Australia along with Daniel Eleanor. Wonderful job by Citroen. And Kylie King is with our event winner right now.
Congratulations, Sebastian. It's been a long time between drinks, so to speak, but you've come through for our Aussie fans today.
Yes, it has been a long time without winning. Now I think it's 4 months. I won a lot of rallies in the start of the season, then begin to be more difficult. We had some trouble, some mistakes, and now to have another victory is really a great moment, because at this point of the championship it was for me really important. We were 3 points behind. If Mikko won here, he would have had a minimum 5, and then with 2 rallies to go, I think it was nearly over for the championship. So now we came back to 1 point behind, and that's really a great weekend for me.
It must have been a tough balance for you, balancing up whether to go for the win or whether to just hold a road position, really.
Yeah, yesterday we've done a good day. We took the lead, and then at the end of the day we decided to go back and to start behind again, because I think the lead we had was maybe not enough with the regulation. Now we have to do like that, and so when you through all the job you've done in the day and you say, okay, we start at 0 again tomorrow, it's not easy to do, but finally it was a good decision, I think.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
He wins the first event on the East Coast here. Rally Australia's back, and this guy is signalling that after a few unlucky rounds, he's back in the title fight as well.
Neil, when we move on from here, you know, we've got, as we've heard, a tarmac rally and then another gravel rally in Wales. What are your thoughts on the championship between Loeb and Hirvonen?
Look, Loeb is just so good, and particularly so good on tarmac. Mika's done an incredibly good job this year, but I think that you could put your money on Loeb in Spain, and then probably put your money on Pasordo in second. So I think it's going to be a very, very tough battle for Hirvonen, but he's surprised everyone this year. He's stepped up to the mark, and it'll all come down to GB.
The M Sport team, we hear, are heading out to do some testing of their Ford Fiesta S2000 or Super 2000 spec car soon, but you would imagine they'll be putting a huge amount of effort into trying to ensure that Mikko has the best chance at this.
Yep, there's absolutely no doubt they'll be out. Every opportunity they get, they'll be trying to improve that car on tarmac and for Spain, and it will be a very tough job. It's not beyond the possibility, but if I was a betting man, I'd probably still be putting it on Loeb.
Now, speaking of tarmac, because I know that you do a lot of both, you've done a lot of tarmac racing in Australia as well, but not many rally drivers get that opportunity. And I guess as we talk about it, people that sit at home that don't always follow it think, well, why is it such a difference? But it does play a big part, doesn't it? Yeah,
look, it is a very different driving style on tarmac. It's a much less aggressive style, but WRC cars these days have incredible downforce and incredible grip, and they're becoming more like tarmac cars to drive. But Hirvonen's the traditional Finnish gravel driver who's converted to tarmac and done a very good job, but Loeb's very special on tarmac.
Sebastian Loeb, together with Citroen, has won the last 5 drivers' titles. We've mentioned that. Citroen won the manufacturers last year and won 3 straight between 2003 and 05. Ford has won the manufacturers' championship in 07 and 06, and prior to that you've got to go right back to 1979. Their last drivers' championship win was with Ari Vatanen in 1981. The stage is set for an incredible final 2 rounds. To the right of your screen there, Mark Marti, Danny Sordo, the 3rd place getters in Repco Rally Australia. On the left, Jarmo Lehtinen and Mikko Hirvonen, and of course our winners, Daniel Eleanor and Sebastian Loeb. Standing by for the national anthem. Our congratulations to the organisers and the 1,800 odd officials that have worked tirelessly to make this event come together.
It's been fantastic, hasn't it? We've been greeted really well in Kingscliff, and
And even the other things around the edges too. The Festival of Speed on Tweed has become a part of this event. Stephen Richards is up here with his Ford Escort, just having some fun away from his normal job. I mean, it's been just a great atmosphere in motorsport terms, I think.
It was nice to finish winter off in Canberra on the Northern Rivers. Very pleasant.
Trophies to the wheeling manufacturer. Again, Executive General Manager of Repco Australia, Mr. Steve Johnson.
Final presentation of trophies happening. First ever WRC round in Australia, of course, was 1989. First Rally Australia was actually 1988. It was an Asia Pacific round in its first form, and the winners back then, Ingvar and Per Carlson. Australia in 2004. They did it together, Sebastian and Daniel Eleanor. That was the 17th running of Rally Australia, but this brand new event here on the East Coast, they win as well.
I guess just quickly, Neil, it's we've spoken a little bit about him, and he wasn't here this weekend, but Chris Atkinson, it'd be great to see him have something for 2010.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Chris has proven over the last couple of years that he's one of the fastest drivers in the world, and unfortunately with Subaru withdrawing from rallying, Chris was left high and dry, and it'd be great to see him back in the championship. If you look at Mika Hervinen, he was flung from Subaru a few years ago because he wasn't fast enough, and look at him now.
Yeah, absolutely flying. Well done to Cody Crocker, who is the top Australian in this event, finishing third in the Production World Rally Championship. We mentioned Nathan Quinn as well, doing a good job this weekend. And Neil, quickly, will we see you back in this car and doing some more regular competition? What's ahead for you?
Look, at the moment I'm not sure what's ahead, but definitely you'll see me back in this car doing something, and I'd love to be back here in 2 years' time and do it properly. Unfortunately, I made a mistake this weekend that cost us dearly, but we could have been up there with a fight in Group N. But look, as I say, I love the roads. Can't wait to come back.
Well done to Toyota, and well done to your team. A great car, and great to see you in your 10th showing of Rally Australia.
Well done, that many.
Our congratulations and thanks to all of our team as well on behalf of Darryl Beattie and everyone here. It's been a marvellous event, the first staging of Repco Rally Australia on an alternating basis with New Zealand. On behalf of the team, it's bye for now.